Everybody, so Tyler Marsh, the coach of the Chicago Sky, has just been interviewed, and he was asked if anybody knew about the allegations or heard.
I see a lot of WNBA teams. Here's the player, here's the coach. There's no connection here. Chicago Sky, these players are getting intertwined and they're connected.
The Chicago Sky, once the scrappy underdogs of the WNBA, now looking like they signed up for a reality show called How to Lose a Franchise in 10 Games or Less. They're 2-6, racking up losses like I rack up empty coffee cups during a Netflix binge.
Talk about Tyler Marsh, man. We have to talk about Tyler Marsh and this one, man, releasing a crazy statement. All right, so there's this article right here, man, released talking about Chicago Sky coach sends strong Angel.
And at the center of this chaos is Tyler Marsh, the rookie head coach who's catching more heat than a jalapeno in a microwave. This man woke up, saw Angel Reese's stat line, and decided to drop a post-game quote so spicy it could make a habanero blush. According to Yahoo Sports, Marsh was asked why Angel's struggling in the paint, getting stripped, blocked, and looking like she's playing hot potato with the ball. His response? It was just rushed. Rushed. My guy, that's like saying the Hindenburg was just a little toasty. Angel's out there missing layups like she's allergic to the rim, and you're calling it rushed? HR's probably drafting his pink slip as we speak, but let's back up. For those of you new to the drama,
Chicago Sky, they need to fire Tyler Marsh. I have seen enough. Tyler Marsh, he's not the right coach for this job. He's not a head coach for this team, and he's not a good head coach for any team. Any team.
Tyler Marsh is the Chicago Sky's shiny new coach, hired to steer this team back to playoff glory. He's got a resume. Assistant coach for the Las Vegas Aces, player development guru for the Toronto Raptors, and Indiana Pacers. Sounds legit, right? Except X is screaming he's not the guy for the job. One user straight up said, Tyler Marsh is the worst coach in the league. And the replies were a battlefield of clapbacks and crying emojis. Fans are out here photoshopping missing persons reports for the Sky's offense. I mean, when your team's highlight reel looks like a blooper tape, you've got problems. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or rather, the superstar in the jersey.
You can like know little things about plays and personnel and all this stuff, but that don't make you a head coach. He's not a good head coach.
Angel Reese, the 2024 WNBA All-Star, the rebound queen, the walking brand with a Nike deal and an Instagram following that could fill a small country. She's supposed to be the cornerstone of this franchise, the spark plug to ignite Chicago's championship dreams. But right now, she's more like a sparkler that fizzled out in a rainstorm. Her stats this season? 9.1 points, 12.3 rebounds, 2.6 assists per game. Sounds decent until you realize she's shooting 2 for 7 in some games, racking up turnovers like she's collecting Pokemon cards, and fouling like it's her side hustle. One ex-post called her a shell of herself. And ouch, that stings worse than stepping on a Lego. Let's break it down with a relatable analogy. Imagine you're baking a cake. Angel Reese is supposed to be the chocolate frosting. Rich, bold, the star of the show. But right now, she's more like frosting that's gone grainy because someone left it out too long.
We want Camilla and Angel to be good at what they do already. We want to continue to highlight their strengths. We also want to continue to improve and figure out ways where they can score easily, or they can still be effective defensively.
The potential's there, but the execution. It's giving I Forgot the Sugar vibes. Against the Indiana Fever on June 8th, the Sky got smoked 79-52, and Angel put up 4 points on 2 for 7 shooting. 4 points. My grandma could score 4 points, and she's got a bad hip and a vendetta against cardio. The Fever didn't even have Caitlin Clark, their superstar, and they still turned the Sky into a speed bump. That's not a game. That's a crime scene. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, let's not sleep on this rivalry, or lack thereof. Everyone was hyping Reese vs. Clark as the WNBA's next bird versus.
I understand, though, that even though they're kind of the cornerstones of this franchise, that championship teams are won 1 through 12. Everyone has a huge...
Magic, but it's looking more like David versus Goliath if David forgot his slingshot. Clark's out there dropping logo threes and dishing assists like she's got GPS in her eyeballs, while Reese is missing layups so badly the rim's filing for emotional distress. X is eating this up, with fans posting, "Caitlin would have unclogged the drain and tossed the sky in." Now let's get to the juicy part. Tyler Marsh's big mouth. After that Fever loss, he was asked about Angel's struggles. Instead of throwing out a classic coach cliche like, "We're working on it," he doubled down with, "We have confidence in her, just like Camila Cardoso."
You guys are so thirsty for a result. You guys have no answers. Your team stinks. And at the end of the day, I'm really sitting and thinking about it, right?
Confidence? Bro, the only thing you should have confidence in is that Angel's turnovers are more consistent than your game plan. Then he said, "It's not going to be often that we have a ton of nights like this. Sir, your team's 2-6, and 4 of those losses were by 19 plus points. That's not a bad night. That's a bad lifestyle." Fans on X are calling for his head, with one post saying, "If I was the Sky's owner, I'd fire him immediately. He knows nothing about leading a team." Yikes. That's colder than a Chicago winter. But here's where it gets messy. Angel Reese isn't just a player, she's a brand. Over 1 million Instagram followers, Nike sponsorships, and a PR machine that could make a Kardashian jealous. She's selling merch faster than you can say double-double. So how do you bench a player who's basically a walking billboard? It's like trying to fire the mascot because he's bad at dunking. You can't. The Sky are stuck in a PR pickle. Keep playing her and risk more blowouts, or bench her and watch the sponsors sprint for the exits. It's a lose-lose, and Marsh is out here looking like he's solving a Rubik's Cube with oven mitts.
And at the end of the day, the Chicago Sky management are the ones who said they are in win now mode. And everybody assumed they are building around one Angel.
Let's zoom out for a second. The Chicago Sky was supposed to be in win now mode, building around Angel and Camila Cardoso. But right now, they're building a case for the worst group project in WNBA history. The team's chemistry is non-existent, the offense is clunkier than a 90s dial-up modem, and the defense, let's just say it's less brick wall and more wet tissue paper. X-users are ruthless, with one posting, "Throw away the whole team, even the goddamn coach." Another suggested Marsh has been deported. Okay, that's extra, but the vibe is clear. Chicago fans are fed up and they're not shy about it. And don't get me started on former coach Teresa Weatherspoon, who's probably watching this from her couch, sipping tea and whispering, "Told you all I wasn't the problem." She got swapped out for Marsh, and now it's looking like the Sky traded a legend for a guy who's one bad press conference away from a viral meme.
To your right, when you talk about the inefficiency in the paint, Angel kept getting the ball down there off rebounds or passes, and it just seemed like it would get stripped or blocked. What did you see that was preventing her from getting in the flow of the offense today?
I think it was just some of them were just rushed.
Weatherspoon was out here trying to highlight Angel and Camilla's strengths, but Marsh, he's highlighting their turnovers like it's his job to narrate the blooper reel. One ex-user said, "Teresa's probably sending Marsh a fruit basket with a note that says, 'Good luck, buddy.' Savage, but I'm here for it." So what's the real issue? Is it Angel Reese's regression? Is it Tyler Marsh's coaching? Or is it the Sky's management thinking hype and a Nike deal could dunk on actual strategy? Let's break it down like a fast break. Angel's not living up to the hype. Last season, she was a rebounding machine, dominating the boards like she owned them. This year, she's still grabbing 12. 3 rebounds a game, but her scoring's down, her efficiency's in the gutter, and her fouls are piling up faster than my laundry after a vacation. One game against the Fever, she had 12 rebounds but only 4 points. That's like showing up to a potluck with a bag of ice. Technically helpful, but nobody's eating that for dinner. Then there's Marsh.
Rush, but I mean, Angel knows that we have confidence in her, just like Camila, and any of our guards that penetrate into the paint and get looks at the rim. Like, we have constant belief and confidence in all of our players to be able to make those, and now it's just a matter of doing it. But
this man's coaching like he's trying to win a participation trophy. His game plan seems to be give Angel the ball and pray. No adjustments, no flow, no nothing. The Sky's spacing is so bad it's like they're playing bumper cars instead of basketball. Players hesitate because they don't know if Angel's about to crash the lane or crash into them. And Marsh's post-game comments. They're giving, "I forgot to study for the test, but I'm confident I passed." Bro, you're failing and the red ink's all over the box score. But let's not let the Sky's management off the hook. They sold us on win now mode, hyped up Angel as the second coming of Lisa Leslie, and hired a rookie coach to steer the ship. That's like handing a teenager the keys to a Ferrari and saying, don't crash. Spoiler, they crashed. The Sky's 2-6 record isn't just a slump, it's a cry for help. And with injuries piling up, veteran guard Courtney Vandersloot's out with a torn ACL. The team's looking thinner than my patience during a Black Friday sale.
Layups or not, throwing up bricks or not, she was more dominant last season. This season, she's like a bit of a shell of herself. She's capable of playing a lot better than what she has been these past few games. You think about Ariel Atkins and how she played last season.
Now, let's talk about the fans. Chicago sports fans are a different breed. They're passionate, they're loud, and they're online 24/7, ready to turn a bad game into a meme war. After the Fever loss, X was a circus. One fan posted a scoreboard with a caption, "Chicago Sky offense last seen never." Another dropped a Photoshop of Angel Reese with a brick emoji over her head. Brutal. And when Draymond Green, yes, that Draymond, chimed in saying the Sky's performance was demoralizing, you know it's bad. When Draymond's throwing shade, you're not just losing, you're losing with an audience.
As individuals, they have talent. As a collective, that talent is not coming together for the betterment of the team. There is no chemistry, there's no offense, there's no defense, and as a coach, as a GM, as an owner, how do you let this continue to go?
The Chicago Sky, once the scrappy underdogs of the WNBA, are now looking like they signed up for a social experiment called How to Implode a Franchise in 10 Games or Less. They're sitting at a brutal 2-6 record, stacking losses like I stack empty energy drink cans during a gaming marathon. At the center of this circus is Tyler Marsh, the rookie head coach who's catching more heat than a viral diss track. This man woke up, saw Angel Reese's stat line, and decided to drop a post-game quote so spicy it could make a ghost pepper cry. According to Yahoo Sports, Marsh was asked why Angel's struggling in the paint, getting stripped, blocked, and looking like she's playing dodgeball with the ball. His response?
But goddamn it, somebody gotta say it. Throw away the whole Chicago Sky team, even the goddamn head coach. He ain't the man for that job. They need some experience. They need a better experienced coach.
It was just rushed. Rushed. My guy, that's like saying Chernobyl was just a little smoky. Angel's out there missing layups like she's auditioning for a blooper reel, and you're calling it rushed? HR's probably got his severance package on speed dial, but let's rewind for the newbies in the back. Tyler Marsh is the Chicago Sky's fresh-faced coach, hired to steer this team back to playoff glory after a dismal 13-24 season in 2024. He's got a shiny resume. Assistant coach for the Las Vegas Aces, where he helped Arjar Wilson and Jackie Young become superstars, plus stints with the Toronto Raptors and Indiana Pacers. On paper, he's a player development wizard, the kind of guy who could turn a bench warmer into a bucket getter. But X is not feeling the vibe. One user called him the worst coach in the league, and the replies were a war zone of clapbacks, crying emojis, and straight-up savagery. Fans are out here, photoshopping missing persons reports for the Sky's offense.
That man is the head coach of the team now. He ain't the man for the job. Not with the young talent that he has on that team, he is not the man for that job. Either throw away the goddamn team or...
And one post even suggested Marsh has been deported. Okay, that's extra, but you get the point. Chicago's fan base is ruthless, and Marsh is in the crosshairs. Now, let's zoom in on the real star of this drama, Angel Reese, the 2024 WNBA All-Star, the rebound queen, the walking brand with a Nike deal and an Instagram following that could fill Soldier Field. She's supposed to be the cornerstone of this franchise, the spark plug to ignite Chicago's championship dreams. But right now, she's more like a sparkler that got dunked in a puddle. Her stats this season are, let's call them a mixed bag. She's averaging 9.1 points, 12.3 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, which sounds solid until you dig deeper. She's shooting 2 for 7 in some games, racking up turnovers like she's trying to set a personal record, and fouling like it's her cardio routine. One ex-post called her a shell of herself. And ouch, that hits harder than a double technical. To make sense of this, Let's hit you with a relatable analogy.
I honestly was so hopeful that when I made this post about the Chicago Sky playing Indiana for the second time, that they would be victorious or at least come closer to winning the game. But they did worse in this game than they did in the first game, and Caleb wasn't even playing in this game.
Imagine you're cooking a gourmet meal. Angel Reese is supposed to be the truffle oil. Fancy, bold, the ingredient that makes everyone go, ooh, this is next level. Fine, but right now, she's more like truffle oil that's gone rancid because someone left it in the sun. The potential's there, but the execution? It's giving I forgot the recipe vibes. Take the June 8th game against the Indiana Fever. The Sky got obliterated 79-52, and Angel put up 4 points on 2 for 7 shooting. 4 points. My dog could score 4 points, and he's more interested in chasing his tail than shooting hoops. The Fever didn't even have Caitlin Clark, their superstar, and they still turned the Sky into a speed bump. That's not a game. That's a public humiliation. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, let's talk about the rivalry that wasn't. Everyone was hyping Reese versus Clark as the WNBA's next Bird versus Magic, but it's looking more like David versus Goliath if David showed up with a pool noodle instead of a slingshot. Clark's out there dropping logo threes and dishing assists like she's got a PhD in court vision, while Reese is missing layups so badly the rim's considering therapy. X is living for this. With fans posting, Caitlin would have unclogged the drain and tossed the Sky in.
Which is what is like even more surprising. Like the Chicago Sky, I thought they found like something when they played the Dallas Wings. They won both of those games, said okay, they found something within that lineup, something's gonna work.
Brutal. And honestly, they're not wrong. If Clark had played those games, it wouldn't have been a 27-point blowout. It would have been a massacre. One ex-user said, Angel's lucky she didn't have to guard Caitlin because it would have been open season. Imagine Reese trying to chase Clark around screens. She'd have fouled out faster than you can say Nike endorsement. But the real juice is Tyler Marsh's big mouth. After that Fever loss, he was asked about Angel's struggles in the paint. Instead of dropping a standard coach cliche like, she's working hard, we'll get there, he went full chaos agent with, it was just rushed. Then he doubled down, we have confidence in her, just like Camilla Cardoso. Confidence? Bro, the only thing you should have confidence in is that Angel's turnovers are more reliable than your Wi-Fi. He capped it off with, it's not going to be often that we have a ton of nights like this. Sir, your team's 2-6, and 4 of those losses were by 19 plus points. That's not a bad night, that's a bad era. X's CID mind
came out and had a 12 rebound, 4 point, 2 assist game in the absence of Caitlin Clark tonight. Angel, they're not coming.
It's game night in Chicago. The United Center is buzzing. Well, kinda. The Chicago Sky are hosting the Indiana Fever, and the arena's got 19,000 fans in the seats. Sounds like a flex, right? A WNBA crowd that size? Slam dunk for women's hoops, right? Wrong. Hold up, because those seats weren't filled with die-hard Sky fans waving homemade posters for Angel Reese. Nah, those were Caitlin Clark stands, making a pilgrimage like they're chasing Beyoncé tickets. And here's the kicker. Tickets to this game were going for $3. Yes, you heard me right. Cheaper than a gas station hot dog and probably less satisfying. You could have brought your whole squad for the price of a Starbucks latte and still had change for a questionable nacho tray. But when the final buzzer sounded, fans were out here demanding refunds like they just watched a magician botch a disappearing act. Why? Because Angel Reese's performance was colder than a Chicago winter, and the internet is roasting her like it's a comedy special. Let's unpack this chaos because it's juicier than a tabloid cover and funnier than a TikTok fail compilation.
Word on it. Caitlin Clark. So as the Indiana Fever beat the Chicago Sky by 29 points without Caitlin Clark, I asked the EBT community, do y'all have
First, let's set the scene. The WNBA is having a moment, and not the good kind. Ticket sales are plummeting faster than my Wi-Fi during a Netflix binge. Why? 2 words. Caitlin Clark. Or rather, the absence of Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever's golden girl, the sharpshooting, triple-double dropping phenom, is sidelined with a quad injury, and it's like someone pulled the plug on the league's hype machine. When Clark was ruled out for the June 7th Sky Fever rematch, ticket prices for that game didn't just drop, they belly flopped. We're talking a 71% price crash from $86 to as low as $3. $3. You can't even get a vending machine soda for that, but you could apparently watch a professional basketball game. That's not a deal. That's a cry for help. It's like the WNBA is holding a clearance sale, and the only thing selling out is their dignity. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the Bayou Barbie on the court. Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed star of the Chicago Sky, the LSU legend with the $1 million NIL deals, and a social media following bigger than some countries' populations. She's got the swagger, the TikTok dances, the Met Gala invites, and a fan base ready to go to war over her honor. But there's one tiny problem: her game, or lack thereof. In the Sky's blowout loss to the Fever, 93-58, for those keeping score at home, Reese put up a stat line so bleak it could star in a horror movie. 4 points, 12 rebounds, sure, but 4 points. That's not a stat line, that's a typo. That's the kind of performance that makes fans double-check their tickets like, wait, did I accidentally buy seats to a middle school scrimmage? And the internet? Oh, it's having a field day. X is a battlefield, with fans and haters trading shots like it's the NBA Finals. One post summed it up perfectly. Angel Reese did all this pre-game posing for the cameras just to drop 4 points and lose by 30 to a Fever team without Caitlin Clark. Ouch. That's not shade, that's a solar eclipse. Another user called the Clark-Reese rivalry, Kobe versus Marcy. And I'm still recovering from how accurate that burn is. It's like Reese is out here playing checkers while Clark's rewriting the chess rulebook. And the fans? They're not just disappointed, they're livid. Some are out here saying they'd rather burn their $3 than watch another game where Reese jogs around like she's auditioning for a slow-motion montage. Let's be real for a second though. The WNBA's been begging for mainstream attention forever, and now that it's finally got it, thanks to Clark's supernova star power, Reese is supposed to be the co-star in this blockbuster rivalry. The media's been hyping it up like it's Ali versus Frazier, but right now it's feeling more like Frazier versus Niles. Cute, but nobody's buying tickets for it. Clark's out there dropping dimes, drilling logo threes, and turning every game into must-see TV. Meanwhile, Reese's stat sheet looks like it was written in invisible ink. 4 points in a game where the other team's missing their best player? That's not a rivalry, that's a cameo, and the fans noticed. You could hear the sarcasm echoing through the United Center like, wow, I paid $3 to watch Angel Reese stand there like she's waiting for an Uber. So what's going on with Angel Reese? Is she the future of the WNBA, or is she just the league's most overhyped influencer? Let's break it down. Reese came into the league with a resume that screams star.